Hey guys, it's Caitlin. Welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I wanted to make a cozy little book vlog, and I was going to share all the books that I've read so far in 2025 and my ratings, so let's get into it. Reading goal for the year was to read 12 books, so it would be like reading one book a month, but I actually already passed that goal and I just finished my 12th book, so I thought it'd be fun to share all the books I've read so far, and I'm excited to see how many I end up finishing this year. I'm gonna start off with the 5-star books. So I have 3 books that I've rated 5 stars this year. The first one is The Bodyguard by Katherine Center. This book was so cute. It's like a little rom-com. It's like the first rom-com I had read of the year because I was in like a thriller phase, and it was just like such a good book to hop back into that genre of like romances, and it was so cute. The main character, Hannah, is a bodyguard for Jack, who's an actor, but he goes to stay with his family and he doesn't want his family to know he has a stalker, so they have to fake be in a relationship. And I love those types of books, and it was just like so cute and wholesome, and I was honestly intrigued from start to finish. It was so good. That was actually my first book by Katherine Center, and then it actually made me read another one of her books, which I really like. Second 5-star book I read was Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez. This book is apparently number 3 in the Part of Your World series, which I didn't know that going into it, so I'm excited to read the other 2 because I think it kind of goes into detail on the other character's story, which I like books that do that. So in this book, Justin and Emma both have a curse where every time they break up with their boyfriend or girlfriend, their next relationship, they end up getting married. So they meet online and they're trying to break the curse. So she goes to visit him for the summer, and they go on like a certain amount of dates to try and break the curse. And this book was so fun. Honestly, I kind of had an idea of what was going to happen. There were so many like things that happened that I did not see coming, and it was just a super cute book. Okay, my third 5-star book was The Family of Liars, which is the prequel to We Were Liars. This was actually my 12th book I read this year, and it was so good. So I read parts of the We Were Liars books like years and years ago, and then when the movie came out, I watched the movie and it was insane. I think it was a TV show. I loved the TV show so much. So I wanted to read the prequel because it kind of goes into the stories of the parents of the liars and like lies that were told for years and like hidden in the past, and it was so insane. There were so many plot twists. I really didn't know what to expect going into it, but I was like hooked. At the beginning it was a little bit slow, but once it picked up, and you honestly didn't know what was going to happen. It was crazy, and I literally read like 200 pages in one day. Today I did, because I was like, I have to find out what happens. But that one was really good. I'm hoping they make a season 2 of the show and turn that book into season 2, because I would love to watch it. And the next book I rated 4 stars is Hello Stranger by Katherine Center. So basically the main character, Sadie, is an artist, and she develops a condition called face blindness where she can't see people's faces, and she just like falls in love, and I'm trying really not to give it away, but like she has to do an art project, which is because she paints people's faces for a living, but she can't make out their faces. And it was just like such a cute book. I really liked that one as well. I rated it a 4-star just because to be a 5-star, I feel like I have to like constantly be thinking about the book, and I just didn't do that with it. Good, but it was kind of slow at parts, so that's why I don't rate it a 5-star. I feel like it could have been a little shorter. And the next book that I rated 4 stars is First Light Wins by Ashley Elston. This is a thriller. It was so good. I really liked it. It was super slow in parts, and it took me a little bit to get into it, but like once it picked up, I think maybe like halfway through it picked up, but it was really good. Main character actually has a fake identity, and she's going on this assignment from her boss to try and get information about this guy, and she like fake dates him. I really liked the book because the whole time you didn't know why she was there or kind of what was happening. It was all like super mysterious, and you were like also trying to figure out what was happening. So I like books where you don't know what's going on. You have to like figure it out with the characters. So I really liked this one. Next book that I rated 4 stars is The Vacancy in Room 10 by Serafina Novaglass. This was my first book by her, but I was really hooked. The character Anna's husband has died, and she was shocked and searching for answers, and he had this little art studio apartment, and she decides to go stay there and discover what happened and why he died. And it was just like, you never really knew what was happening. You thought everyone was a suspect, and I love those types of books, so I really enjoyed that one. Next book I read by her was The Vanishing Hour, and I honestly rated that one a 3. I didn't love it. It took me forever to finish because I just could not get into it, and it's like, it just kind of like dragged on. I wasn't really like hooked or interested in it. It was like alright. Like towards the end I started to get interested on like what happened, but it wasn't my favorite book. Basically it was this mom searching for her daughter that went missing, and come to find out there were multiple people that had went missing in this town, and I just like don't love kidnapping books. That's probably why I rated it lower, or I wasn't like super into it. The next book I rated a 3 stars is Sometimes I Lie by Alice Feeney. I did not love this book at all. The book starts and it says, "My name is Amber Reynolds. There's 3 things you should know about me. 1, I'm in a coma. 2, my husband doesn't love me anymore. And 3, sometimes I lie." And basically she just woke up from being in a coma after an accident, and she thinks that her husband or sister has something to do with it, but she can't remember it, and she's trying to like piece it together while she's in the hospital. And I couldn't get into this book at all. And then towards the end, it's just like so much going on. You don't know what is true and what isn't. You don't know what's true and what isn't. And I just like had so many questions that were unanswered. You really didn't know. There were like some questions that you were like, you didn't know what was true or not. And I just did not like it very much, or the style of writing. It was very confusing. I had to also catch myself going back and reading paragraphs again just because I wasn't really sure what was going on. Another book I read that I gave 3 stars is The Guest List by Lucy Foley. This one took me a while to get into just because it was kind of confusing with all the characters, and it was like each chapter was a different character, but there were so many characters that it was hard to keep up with like who was who. But the ending was really good. I was hooked about halfway through. I like to be hooked right at the beginning with the thriller, so I didn't love that, but the book was really good. I did really enjoy the book. Okay, so moving on to the 2 stars. The first one I read was The Let Them Theory by Mel Robbins. I didn't love this book because of how repetitive it was. I do love Mel Robbins and her podcast, but the book seemed to be just repeating the same stuff she says in the podcast, or just like repeating over and over the same stuff throughout the chapters. I think what she said was good, and there were a lot of good things I picked up from the book, but I felt like it dragged on way longer than it should have. And if you listen to her podcast, I feel like it's kind of the same material, which is totally fine because I feel like the repetitiveness makes it like click in your brain more, but it seemed to be a little too repetitive, so that's why I gave it a 2 star. But I do like the self-help books like that, but I liked Atomic Habits a lot more. The next book I gave 2 stars is The Storied Life of A.J. Fickery. This book is basically about AJ, a bookstore owner who is also a widow, and a baby turns up in his bookstore, and there was a note left that the mom wanted the baby to be taken care of by him. Kind of just goes through his life and all of the different things that happened, like love, heartbreak, all that kind of stuff. It was good, but it would talk about AJ as if the story wasn't being told from his perspective, and I don't love that. I like when the main character tells the story, or it's like a dual perspective, but it was like a narrator was narrating it, and I just don't love that style of writing. I did see there's a movie about this, and I would like to watch the movie to get my perspective to see if it changed after like seeing the movie. I love to read the books and then watch movies and like compare, so maybe I'll do that. There's only one book that I rated a 1 star this year, and that was The Housemaid. And I feel like there's so many mixed opinions about this, and most people love it. They're actually making a movie about it, and I was really excited to see the movie, so I wanted to read the book first. But this book was so scary. Basically, Nina has gotten out of jail and she's trying to find a job, and she picks up a job as like a nanny slash housemaid for this rich family. And when she gets there, the like gardener tells her danger, but she like doesn't listen, and she's like, all these like weird events start happening, and like I was so hooked. But like there's a part 1 and part 2. When part 2 started, it got so weird, and like towards the end it was so scary that like I felt like I had to finish just because I was almost done. But by the end of it, I was like honestly disgusted. I was like, it was way too graphic and just like so bad. I was like, I do not want to watch this movie, and I'm gonna rate it a 1 star. And normally I don't rate books 1 stars, but it was literally so bad. So like I don't know if anyone else has the same opinion as me, but I did not like it. I did not like it at all. I would never read it again. I think there's sequels. I will never read it. Those. And also Frida McFadden, the girl who wrote the book, she has a bunch of other books that people talk about, but I don't want to read anything. That was my first book from her. I don't think I'll ever read that author again, just because I don't know if all her books are that graphic, but it's definitely not for me. These are all the books I've read so far this year, and I'm excited to read more and see how many books I can complete. If we hit 20, that would be insane, which I've never read more than like 12 books in a year, so this is very unusual for me, but I'm kind of in my reading era and I'm loving it, and it's the perfect time to be in my reading era because I can like read cozy books for the fall. Let me know if you want more book content. I don't think I've ever done a book content video, but I thought it'd be fun to start making more book content. So let me know what kind of book content you'd like to see next, and thanks for watching. See you next week. Bye guys.